Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Guys, out of the Babolat lines, do you know what demographic they made each of the lines for? Well, I'm going to tell you today. Stay tuned. All right, guys, good morning to everybody out there in Tennis Spin YouTube land. Thank you for watching today. Coffee sponsor of this morning is James Lynn. James writes, Professor Harry, thanks for the awesome content and what you, Coach Goo, Coach Chris, and Coach Rob do for our community and industry. I hope to meet you guys one day to talk about shoes. Signed, James Lynn from Fila. Oh, cool, James. Thanks for the coffee. If you want to be my coffee sponsor of the day, network is buymeacoffee.com/tennis spin. Thank you all in advance. And hey, thank you for keeping the coffee train rolling. I appreciate it so much. All right, so let's talk about Babolat now. So there are three distinct lines in the Babolat line: the strike, the arrow, and the pure drive. Now, why did Babolat create three separate lines? For three separate demographics. But within those lines, the demographics can change. Okay? So let's start with the strike. Okay, let's start with the strike. So I'm at the wall here. You could kind of say that the strike line is like the blade line from Wilson. So we got the most popular 16x19 used by teenagers, college age kids, college players. They can choose either the 16x19 or the 18x20. Most people out here use a 16x19. I hear maybe in Europe there's more 18x20. So used by younger, higher level players. They have the 100, which is a little easier to play with, that the Weekend Warrior can use. So yes, the variation to the strike, the lesser known strike, as I call it. They added the 103 to kind of be like the Blade 104. So about a 10-ounce racket, slightly bigger head, easier to play with. Targeted probably the women on this one. There's also a team version, TEAM, 10-ounce version for that up-and-coming junior, that woman, or just somebody who wants a lighter racket that's just cosmetic. All right? I sell a ton of those to probably like a 12, 13, 14-year-old who actually has to have a strike. All right? So this is what you call their control line. Okay? But like I said, there's variations in the line, and you can get more power from that 100 if you really want to. Okay? They've recently added the Strike VS, and that is kind of the ultimate in their player stick. So heavier, got the leather grip, right? That means we're taking it serious for that high level player. All right, moving on. Let's talk about Arrow bananas. I sell a ton of these to teenagers. They love the cosmetic. They probably love Nadal. Like when I was growing up, I love Agassi, right? Whatever Agassi used, I definitely had my eye on. Whether it be Prince Graphite oversized, head, or before head, it was Donné, that oversized 107 Donné. So it was pink with something gray, but whatever he used, I followed. Okay. And this didn't necessarily, I wasn't necessarily able to buy them, but I definitely knew what he used. So I feel like Nadal kind of has that status with the teenagers, especially the boys. Because like people, whenever he's in a tournament, whenever he gets to the finals and wins, like this racket blows up. So we got the regular one at 10.6 unstrung, best selling one of all. The team, TEAM, at about a 10-ounce racket. I sell a lot of those to those teenagers, like 13-year-olds to 14-year-olds, and then they move up to the regular. There's the light, which I actually sell to a lot of the 12-year-olds, boys and girls. They love it. There's actually a tour version of this too, which I hardly sell. It's for usually the guy who wants a little more weight. So meant definitely for spin, but there's a lot of cool factor in these arrows. Paint job on this is just the paint job. There is no difference in these two. Okay, no difference. They just call that the Rafa model and made that paint job. There's also a long version of the regular that I don't sell too many of either. I might sell 10 of those a year. It's the long trend has been kind of going down in the past 10 years. But yeah, spin machine for sure, meant for kind of the younger crowd. I don't really sell too many of these to the weekend warriors. Now let's talk about the ultimate weekend warrior racket. Pure drive. Okay, so I would say this racket, number one, number two selling racket, kind of all time, at least here. I'm sure it's definitely one or two nationwide in the last 20 years. It's just the ultimate, I mean, I call it the weekend warrior racket, but I feel like anybody can just pick this racket up and play with it. It's that easy. I do typically sell more of these to men, as, I mean, you can tell by the colors, it's a little more on the masculine side. When I show a woman this, I would say half the time they ask me, does that come in another color? I've done a show on that before, and yeah, no, it's true. It does happen a lot. But yes, men on the regular for sure. There is a heavier version that's just a little heavier. Don't sell too many of those anymore. Ever since Roddick kind of got his name off of it and retired, the heavier one kind of just went with Andy. So there's long versions of this too. And again, I might sell 10 a year of this, but definitely meant for that man on the regular. Although women do buy it, and it probably suits them too on the court. There's the team version, TEAM, and that's meant for, again, that 13, 14-year-old or the woman who, plays at I want to say a 3.5, 4.5 or higher level at a 10-ounce weight. So easier to maneuver, got a little weight in the head, right? Good power, enough power. And then there's the light version, which, again, women love, kids love, and, again, 12-year-old, 13-year-old. All right, now within the Pure Drive line, there's also two kind of, not anomalies, but, a little more catered to the older crowd. We got Pure Drive in a 107 head, and a 110. So it's definitely for the slightly older person who wants a little more power, who doesn't quite swing as hard, but still want, decent control from an oversized racket. Top selling, regular version sells the most. They made that VS Pure Drive. Didn't do very well, not really on anybody's radar. That's kind of like supposedly their player stick for the Pure Drive users. It's a little underweighted in my opinion. Hopefully in their new edition, they add a little more weight to it so that people won't have to add too much lead to it, because I feel that it needs it. But that one is meant for the higher level Pure Drive users, maybe even the college kids or pros. Aero VS, okay, so made popular now by Alcaraz, definitely geared towards higher level players, 4.5s and up, college. Alcaraz using it, so we got a pro using it now, right? So definitely VS line gear towards high level players. Okay, so I just told you the demographics that Babolat was trying to get with the different lines and the different rackets of those lines. But that doesn't mean that those are set in stone, okay? Remember what I told you about the 80-20 rule, okay? 80% of the people will fit there. 20% won't. They'll deviate just because they're going to play with what they're going to play with, right? Just like you guys. All right. Thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Guys, are you tired of playing against the ball machine? Ball machine always wins, and you're not really getting any interaction with people. How about playing with somebody at your level, or maybe a little bit better than you, that can improve your game? There's 27,000 people nationwide waiting for you to play with. It's all at playyourcourt.com. You can find your new tennis friend, join local leagues, all for less than $5 a month. You'll have access to players at your level, your speed, and make some new tennis friends. Check it out at playyourcourt.com/tennis spin. Link is below.